It is the 25th day of November, and hello and good evening from Rwanda's capital here in Kigali. And many thanks for joining us on this Thursday edition.
Yes, so these are the top stories for our viewers in Rwanda and across the world. This Thursday, President Paul Kagame arrived in Kinshasa, where he joins African heads of state and the government for the Men's Conference on Positive Masculinity, hosted by President Felix Tshisekedi, who is also the current chairperson of the African Union.
Investors in tea plantation and export explain that as trade activities continue to recover, there is hope that tea prices on the international market will fluctuate for better.
Rwanda's private clinics accuse some insurance companies of delaying payment, hence affecting service delivery.
I trust you're doing well. I'm Ethan Tashobia.
And my name is Martina Avera, here to give you the RTV News.
You're watching RTV News live from Kigali. Thank you so much, Martina. It's a pleasure for me to be joining you on this site.
Oh, thank
Thursday.
you. Yes.
I hope you're doing well.
Very well tonight.
Are you having a good week?
Yes, I did.
So far.
Yeah.
Right. Let's head into the news. This Thursday, President Paul Kagame arrived in Kinshasa, where he joins African heads of state and government for the Men's Conference on Positive Masculinity, hosted by President Felix Tshisekedi, who is also the current chairperson of the African Union. We have this report.
This Thursday, President Paul Kagame arrived in Kinshasa, where he joined African heads of state and government for the Men's Conference on Positive Masculinity, hosted by President Felix Tshisekedi of DRC, who is also the current chairperson of the African Union. Upon arrival in Kinshasa, President Kagame was received by Prime Minister of DRC, Lukonde Sama, before being welcomed at the presidential palace by his host, President Tshisekedi, for bilateral talks. While speaking at the presidential palace in Kinshasa, President Kagame thanked his host, President Tshisekedi, for the invitation to attend the conference on gender violence against women and girls, while he also called on men to ensure that violence against women and girls is eliminated. President Kagame also noted that the equally important aspect about his visit to Kinshasa is the discussion the two leaders of Rwanda and DRC had about bilateral cooperation in peace, development and stability, not only for the two countries, but also for the region and beyond. President Kagame added that the invitation to attend the Men's Conference on Positive Masculinity in Kinshasa came in at the right time to renew the friendship and cooperation between the two neighboring countries, DRC and Rwanda. On Thursday afternoon, President Kagame joined his host, President Felix Tshisekedi, together with Presidents Nana Akufo-Addo of Ghana, Macky Sall of Senegal, Denis Sassou Nguesso of the Republic of Congo, and Fayulu Nasibe of Togo for the one-day Men's Conference on Positive Masculinity. The African Union championed Men's Conference on Positive Masculinity, themed galvanizing positive masculinity to end the scourge of violence in Africa, comes as the world joined forces in the 16 Days of Activism campaign to end violence against women and girls.
Yes, on to other matters. As the number of cases of sexual violence continues to rise, in the Ministry of the Gender and Family Promotion, MIGEPROF, says that there is a need for everyone to play a role in eradicating it. This was reiterated as Rwanda joins other countries in launching a 16-day of activism campaign against sexual violence, which was launched at the national level in Gitochi sector in Gatsibo district. Jane Mutoni with more.
The issue of domestic violence has proven to be a source of many other issues that are affecting the Rwandan society today. In Gatsibo district, more than 700 families were reported to have domestic conflict in just 1 year. Out of those, 350 families were given counseling by the Rwanda Men's Source Center. However, the effects of the conflict never really fed in the hearts of those involved, as explained by one couple, Mugenzi Elia and Nyiranjara Belansila, who were constantly having conflicts between them for 16 years. They say having peace was almost an impossible idea.
I was part of a group that believed that a woman can only listen if you hit her and punished like a child. It was out of peer influence, so I thought to be a man means hitting your wife.
numva ko kandi ko ngomba kuba umugabo nyine ngacyo ko umugabo uri gukubita umugore.
Byari bikomeye cyane birenze.
Life was extremely hard. To a point, killing each other was a possibility. He used to beat me up, and some nights I would sleep on the streets with our lastborn. And this would happen every week. So I thank Ramrek. The counseling did help us, and we now live together with my spouse harmoniously. Their testimony has served as a great example to the rest of the families in Gatsibo district. that still struggle with domestic conflicts. As a sign of successful journey of resolving their conflicts, conflict-ridden families decided to now legally get married. 19 of those families are from Gitochi sector, where anti-sexual violence campaigns have been launched. The Ministry of Gender and Family Promotion, MIGEPROF, says among the root causes of this and other issues related to the sexual violence is the concealment of some members of the family, which is why it urges everyone not to remain silent. Victims of domestic abuse still find it hard to come out and report due to fear of societal shame. And this is a problem because the Rwandan society still puts the blame on the victims instead of putting it on the abusers. So we encourage the victims to speak up and report the abusers because it is a punishable crime. We shall also continue spreading the awareness. Figures from the Ministry of Gender and Family Promotion say that crimes related to sexual violence have increased significantly in the last 3 years, from 6,555 in 2018 to more than 12,000 by November 2021, of which most cases are child sexual abuse. The 16 days of activism against sexual violence is running under the theme Speak Up, Fight Sexual Violence. Jane Mutoni, RTV News.
Thank you, Jen, for that report. Now, in other matters, close to 1,000 RDF soldiers, including junior officers and other ranks, completed a 6-month advanced infantry training at National Basic Military Training Center in Kirehe District. The center is designed to enhance skills for ordinary infantry to enable them effectively perform infantry tasks while fulfilling RDF missions. The graduation ceremony was presided over by the RDF Chief of Defense Staff, John Bosco Kazura, on behalf of the RDF Commander-in-Chief, His Excellency President Paul Kagame.
In his remarks, the RDF Chief of Defense Staff, General Jean Bosco Kazura, commended the graduates for their milestone achievement, commitment and discipline. He also appreciated the leadership of the training center, including instructors who work day and night to build their competencies and skills to be effective leaders and soldiers in their respective roles. The overall best officer, Second Lieutenant Friend Rugamba, said that as serving officer, he was able to acquire additional skills that will enable him to serve his instruction and country better.
Congratulations to the gallant men and women who
Definitely.
joined the advanced their skills over there.
Yes.
We still have more news. Leaders of the civil society organization in Rwanda are meeting in Rubavu district to deliberate on their role in contributing to the country's development. Some of the participants in the retreat point out that they are reviewing their activities and how they can bring their advocacy closer to the common people. Joining us on Skype from Gisenyi is Dr. Diarasa Joseph, who is the spokesperson of the Rwanda Civil Society Platform. Many thanks for joining us, Doctor.
Thank you, Tashovja.
Yes, I'm with Martina as well in the studio, RTV News. How is Gisenyi?
Gisenyi is a wonderful place, irrespective of the weather, but it's cool.
Now, this retreat, if you could tell us, what is the role of this retreat? You coming together as the members of the civil society, what is something that is very new that you're looking at this particular retreat?
Yeah, thanks a lot. One of the objectives as to why we brought together almost 40 civil society organizations is to look at how we can be able to contribute towards the policy process. You know, we have various policies, the policy on agriculture, the policy on education, the policy on decentralization, and civil society is a key partner. So the essence of this retreat is to reflect how we've been doing our advocacy, how we've been engaging government people. Because here at this retreat, we have the parliament, we have the Rwanda Governance Board representative, and also we have the Minister of Justice.
Yes.
So we are looking at how we've been engaging government institutions in policies, but also we are looking at increasing collaboration with government, because when you read the National Strategy for Transformation, civil society is a key partner. So we are looking at how we can be able to collaborate so that we can increase active citizenry but also making sure that there is improved service delivery, and also give an opportunity to civil society to assess ourselves to see how we can be able to collaborate and join efforts.
So this, Richard, comes at a time when the world is focusing on ending gender-based violence. That's 16 days of activism, but it also comes amidst, probably towards the end, if that is right, of COVID-19 pandemic. You're looking at some of those aspects that I've mentioned above, and do you think you'll come up with a very recommendations, big recommendations that can contribute to the ending gender-based violence, but also contributing to the positive recovery post-COVID-19?
Yes, thanks a lot. As you has played a key, a significant role in creating awareness around educating families,
Too bad, we lost him. But we appreciate Dr. Jarasa for joining us indeed and telling us what is happening in Gisenyi, where the members of civil society are meeting to discuss a number of issues, including ending gender-based violence. Martina,
yeah, we look forward to the solutions that will come through.
Absolutely.
That. Yes, so moving on, investors in tea plantation and export explain that as trade activities continue to recover, there is hope that tea prices on the international market will be able to fluctuate for better. This is after global trade was shaken by the COVID-19 pandemic. Rwanda's tea exports increased by 5.3% this year, while its export revenues fell by 3.9%. Let's take a look at Sam's report.
Tea, considered a cash crop, has been cultivated in Rwanda since 1960s. For the past 20 years, tea processing industries and plantations have been placed under private ownership. Tea harvest in Rwanda decreased from 98.4 thousand tons in 2013 to 66.6 thousand tons in 2016, and again rose to 83.9 thousand tons in 2018. The target is to harvest 100,000 tons in this year, 2021. More than 45,000 farmers get involved in tea plantation, and thousands of others have managed to get jobs in tea processing industries, while many others profit from tea harvest, as some of them testify. After we started tea farming, we started getting money, and we started living better lives. We are able to pay health insurance, and they sometimes give us bonuses. We also have managed to get contracts.
There's no other job that can pay me well like this. With the saving from the money I get here, I bought a cow. It is now worth 350,000 Rwandan francs.
With increased tea production, tea processing industries have now increased to 18 countrywide. The report by the National Agriculture Export Development Board, NAEB, in the year 2020-2021, 34.3 thousand tons were exported, earning $90 million. In 2019-2020, 32.6 thousand tons were sold, worth $93.6 million, a 3.9% decline in revenue, whereas the harvest increased by 5.3%, 70% of which was sold via online auctions. Currently, the average price per kilo is $2.62 compared to $2.8 last year. This week, a kilo costs about $5 depending on the quality of tea. Tea farming and processing investors say that their priority is to increase the area under cultivation and the quality of their produce. Rwandan tea is not enough on the international markets, but because we have better quality, many people auction for it, which absolutely leads to an increase in prices. We are not worried about losing better quality tea. The coordinator of the Rwandan Tea Cooperatives Federation, Shumbusho Philbel, says although the price of tea has been affected by the COVID-19 pandemic, farmers have continued to profit from tea growing activities. It has been suggested that we will be sharing the money from tea that has been exported to international markets. Farmers get 50% of the revenue. Before, it was only 30% of the total revenue. Overall, Rwanda's tea exports in the 2020-2021 fiscal year were at the rate of 44.5%, valued at more than $1.4 million, while in 2019-2020, Rwanda's tea exports stood at the rate of 39.4%, accounting for over $1.2 million, an increase of 16.4%. Sam Kalisa, Rwanda Television News.
Thank you, Sam, for that report. Martina, are you a tea person or are you a coffee person?
I think I'm definitely a tea person.
Tea person?
Yeah, what about you?
I don't know, tea person.
All right.
But it's good to see that the tea prices have started to recover and, traders are getting what they deserve.
And they're fluctuating for the better.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Now, in other stories making our bulletin this evening, Rwanda's private clinics and hospitals are accusing some of insurance companies of delaying payment, hence affecting service delivery. Jen Moultony reports.
Clients of private hospitals say these hospitals play a key role in speeding service delivery. Uizeimana Clarisse, a resident of Kigali City, believes that private hospitals assist public hospitals and play a role in saving the lives of people. The best thing about private hospitals is their first service delivery, and the way they attend to a patient is satisfying. Although the number of private hospitals is much smaller compared to the public ones, this does not mean that their contribution in caring for the lives of people is small. Of the 1,725 hospitals listed in the country, 315 are private, accounting for 18%. In 2020, the total number of public and private hospitals received patients 18,860,619 times. The private hospitals itself received patients 1,072,167 times, while the public hospitals received patients 17,788,452 times. Dr. Mugenzi Dominique Savio, the director of the Rwanda Private Hospitals Association, says the debt owed by the insurance companies is a major obstacle to the functioning of private hospitals.
It is unfortunate that, as of now, private hospitals are currently receiving their payment of May, yet it's almost December. This leaves us wondering why the insurance companies would think this is appropriate, yet these hospitals need these payments to be able to buy medicines and equipment to treat patients.
On the other hand, Denise Gwakaija, Executive Secretary of Rwanda Insurers Association, says that one of the reasons why these institutions delay paying these hospitals is to conduct inspections because there have been occasions of fraud. Sometimes during the inspections by insurance companies.
Yes, thank you, Jane, for that story. Moving on, the Embassy of Israel to Rwanda has donated 20 cows to some residents of Rulindo district. Beneficiaries say that these cows will improve their livelihoods and supplement their feeding. Olive Nete with the story.
In the Rwandan culture, livestock farming is a symbol of wealth. The resident of Rulindo district who received cows from the Israel's Agency for International Development Cooperation through the Israel Embassy in Kigali say that this will support them in development, their kids will get milk, and the agricultural productivity will increase because of fertilizers produced from these cows' dung. I practice agriculture, but don't get enough productivity due to lack of fertilizers. But now, I'm going to farm, feed my family, and also expand the market.
I will take care of this cow I've been given, and it will surely be productive. Me and my kids will get milk. The good thing about cattle breeding is that I can even provide milk to my neighbors.
Bizumuremyi Al-Bashir, acting mayor of Rulindo district, urges these residents to strive to get out of poverty.
When a person receives a cow, it means that he also gets milk and fertilizers. This will help farmers to increase their productivity. This is why I think that receiving a cow will help these residents to get out of poverty and develop themselves.
Of Israel to Rwanda, Dr. Ron Adam, has noted that this program of giving cows is a symbol of sustainable contribution that will help these residents to develop themselves. Recently, the Israel Embassy to Rwanda also donated 40 cows to families in Nyamasheke and Gisagara district to support the one cow per family program, commonly known as Girinka.
And it is such a contribution which really is a sustainable contribution. It's not money. It is something that stays, that families can benefit for a long time, and also giving the calf to the neighbors, which is a very good thing.
Over 10,240 cows have been donated to different vulnerable households across this district through Girinka program designed for reducing poverty and fighting against child malnutrition in Rwanda. Olive Nete, RTV News.
Martina,
First of all,
do you have cows?
I do. I think I have like 2. But congratulations to the Rulindo residents who received these cows. I'm definitely sure they were very excited.
You have to appreciate what Ambassador Ron Adam is doing, and of course the Israeli government. They have so far contributed 80 cows. And now, where I grew up from, when you had 80 cows,
you were the richest human.
You're rich.
Definitely.
You're one of the richest Kabisa.
Yes, that's amazing.
So awesome too. Congratulations to the Israeli embassy there for what they're doing. Now, in other news, in Rwanda village, Nyarubuye sector, located in Chirihe district, almost all residents have managed to buy themselves smartphones. They say this helps them in their day-to-day life. Betty Mutoni reports.
Mukaru Chingazera, a resident of Rwanda village in Chirihe district, managed to buy a smartphone in the money she worked through the VUP program, an integrated local development program to accelerate poverty eradication, rural growth, and social protection. They paid us money and saved some through our cooperative. The good thing about owning a smartphone is that it improves your level of understanding. I call my children in Kigali and play music. On the other hand, Mukawachondo Jane says the mobile smartphone has helped her to access different online services. We use mobile phone to pay for services. I use it to clear hospital bills. I can take pictures with it and also connect me to my relatives who live overseas. It is different from the small one I had. Baganineza Kalist, the local leader of Rwanda village, says that almost all the households in Rwanda village own smartphones.
In Rwanda village, at least 80 households out of them, 110 in total, own mobile phones, which they bought through community saving groups. It has eased leadership because the people's level of understanding has improved with easy access to information.
Recently, mobile phone penetration in Rwanda has seen a sharp rise, and the same for smartphones, thanks to the ongoing campaign to donate smart mobile gadgets known as Connect Rwanda initiative, spearheaded by the Ministry of ICT and Innovation. Betty Mutoni, reporting for RTV News.
Our time is fast spent. It's a wrap, folks. It's a wrap. And,
yes.
From me and
Martina Vera.
Many thanks. And of course, on behalf of the entire news production team, many thanks for your company tonight.
Thank you for keeping it on RTV News. Stay safe.
And stay well.
Yes.
Bye.